Hi, welcome to Fix That Format. I'm Pamela. I teach the computer classes at the Arlington Heights Job Center. Some of you may have been in class with me. Since we can't meet face-to-face, I've put together a video series focused on fixing some of the common resume layout problems in Microsoft Word. This particular series of short videos is about working with tabs in Microsoft Word. Tabs are an important part of creating an applicant tracking system-ready resume, so it's worth learning more about using tabs efficiently. This is a three-part series about working with tabs in Microsoft Word. Part 1, what are tabs and the tab default settings in Word. Part 2, how to customize tab settings in Word. And Part 3, using tables versus tabs in Microsoft Word. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between tabs and tables. This isn't a video about creating tables in Word. It's about recognizing the difference between tabs and tables, when it's better to use tabs or tables, and how to identify tables in Word documents. As we know, paragraphs are usually the main building blocks of a Word document. And paragraphs are made up of lines that go horizontally across the page. So getting the look of columns, text that goes vertically down the page, is a challenge. There are 3 ways to create columns in Word. There is a column command, but it's difficult to control and really only useful in a newsletter or newspaper layout. The main players are tables, it's a table, and tabbed paragraphs. A table is a grid where columns and rows intersect to form cells. But more importantly, tables are not paragraphs, and they don't behave like paragraphs. They have a different structure and different rules. A table has to be inserted into a document. You just don't type it in. Like we talked about in the second video, tabs, of course, can be used to create the look of columns, but they're still paragraphs. They're just a group of paragraphs with tab stops in the same places so that you get the look of columns. In most cases in Word, it's preferable to use tables rather than tabs because tables are easier to control. But unfortunately, the use of tables is not recommended in resumes that will be scanned by an applicant tracking system. Most people know this by now and have no intention of using tables in their resumes. So why am I concerned about this? Because many people download templates from the internet to help them create their resumes. But the main structure in many of those templates are tables. And if you don't realize it, your resume may not be getting through those scanners. So we really need to know how to recognize tables. So let's look at this. Here I have a resume template I downloaded from the internet into Word. And you can see it's not obvious that it's a table because there aren't any borders. But there are a few clues. So if you suspect that there's a table, if you click in it, you'll start to see some things show up. For one thing, you'll probably see something like this. It looks like a crosshairs. That indicates the upper corner of a table. You'll also see some dark patches over here on the vertical ruler that aren't usually there, and those actually indicate rows in your table. Same thing in the horizontal ruler. You're going to see a couple extra marks, and they indicate columns in your table. But the real giveaway is that when you're clicked in a table, you're going to see extra tabs up here. Depending on the version of Word that you're using, it might also say something like Table Tools. Mine just says Table Design and Layout, and yours will too. There just might be an extra tab there that says Table Tools. These are what are called contextual tabs. They're not always there. If I click outside of my table, you can see that those tabs disappear. I'm going to click back in my table, and they come back. And the thing that you really ultimately want to do is turn on what are called the grid lines. Now, the grid lines are not borders, they don't print, but they'll show you the structure of the table. And you do that in the Layout tab, not the Layout tab, the main one, not this one over here. You want to make sure you're in the Table Tools. Click on Layout, and at the very beginning over here on the left side, you can see it says View Grid Lines. And when I click on that, click it on, click it off, I can see that this whole thing is a table. So it is completely not something that I want to use for a scannable resume. So you just need to be aware of the fact that templates you download may not be what you want to use, because you don't want to get kicked out just because you get tables, right, from these scanners. So be aware, be vigilant, make sure you check to see if the template you're using is a table or not. So to round up, tables are grids inserted into a Word document. They're not paragraphs. They don't behave like paragraphs. Be careful using resume templates downloaded from the web, because many of them are built on tables and that won't work for a scannable resume. Turn on or off table grid lines by selecting the table, then navigating to the very first choice on the Table Layout tab. Thanks for watching. This is the last video in this series. If you want some general information on using tabs in Word, check out video 1. If you want to learn how to customize tabs, take a look at video 2. Thanks again. See you soon.